After 20 years of waiting for another Independence Day film, the day has finally arrived. 20 years later, where we have a sequel to Independence Day. Welcome everybody to my official Independence Day Resurgence movie review. Well, this video will contain massive amounts of spoilers, so in case you guys don't want to know what happens in the movie, simply tune off and go check out my spoiler-free review. You guys have been warned. Now, first things first, I want to touch up on several things that happened in the film. We do have an understanding that during the early portion of the movie, the main characters were introduced, and alongside that, during the first encounter, so to speak, with the aliens and the humans were presuming that this alien encounter was going to be that of a negative threat, but in fact it turns out that there was another species of aliens out there that wanted to pretty much warn the humans to what was coming, and that being the Harvest Queen and all of her, I guess you could say, followers, because there were so many aliens that were present on that main ship. And we do have an understanding that throughout the beginning of the film, we see a foreshadowing of, messages heard and written throughout the world, various images of a circle with a line in between, and of course the humans figured that this was some sort of symbolic message of, the aliens returning and possibly waging war again, but they didn't really have an understanding as to what it truly meant. And of course, humans being humans, when the good aliens arrived, the humans perceived it as a threat and decided to shoot down the very thing that came to warn the humans about the impending dangers that were lurking far in the deep space. So obviously we have the humans that shot down the good alien, so they kind of conducted somewhat of a rescue mission to recover some of the items that were pretty much left lying on the moon, and in which case we do see a moon base, but that didn't really last too long either, because the humans were catching a distress signal, somewhat of a interception of a few of Saturn's moons just completely being destroyed, and ultimately enough just wiped off of the grid. I mean, they weren't able to pick up exactly what happened to its moon bases and stuff, so we actually have somewhat of an inside look as to how Earth was recuperating, how everyone was bonding and stuff. And then finally, when the bad aliens showed up, I mean, they showed up at such a grand level, pretty much wiping out everything on the moon and then making its way towards Earth. And this thing was about 3,000 miles in diameter, and this thing was huge. It nearly engulfed the entire planet, and once it got there, its ultimate goal was to pretty much extract the core of the Earth and pretty much render the entire planet obsolete, destroying the entire planet, fueling its ship and wiping out all civilization on Earth, and then moving on forward from there. So the good alien came to warn us that there was a planet out there that pretty much was teaching other species and other life forms how to combat these dangerous aliens, teaching them about their technology and just guiding them along the lines of how to execute and reverse engineer and stuff like that. So the humans didn't really know at first what they have done, in which case ultimately towards the end of the story they had to pretty much protect the one alien sphere that was giving them information about what was going on. And that was a mission in and of itself, because the queen in this movie was pretty much baiting the humans into attacking. She was baiting them into making several mistakes, in which case the humans have done. Now, I will say, as good and entertaining as the movie was, there were lots of plot holes. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but this movie just ultimately, at least to me, felt very rushed. Now, I don't know why that's the case. And the way the alien queen was introduced, I mean, she was brought about as like this big badass, and I felt as if she kind of got taken down way too early. We saw the whole sacrifice sequence happen with the former president, the one that we saw back in 1996, and he made a noble sacrifice to pretty much defend the Earth and whatnot, because obviously they were running on such short time, because the alien ship, the main ship, was drilling into the Earth, trying to get to the core, and the humans were operating on such little time. So I think towards the very end they had about like 2 minutes left, or just roughly a little under that. So the way the alien queen was taken down, it just seemed a little cliche, because all they really did was have the two main characters, side by side in a ship, in one of the newer spacecrafts that the aliens had, and they pretty much like just shot down the alien queen from behind. I mean, there were several scenes that looked really, really cool. But overall, there were so many plot holes about this film. Obviously, the next film, in which case there will be a third film, they're going to gear up for a all-out invasion, but this time the humans are going to be invading the evil aliens, because the good aliens were telling them about, all sorts of space-time continuum machines and like being able to like warp gravity and time leaps and stuff stuff. It was pretty freaking awesome. So we don't really know if they're gonna pull off like some Star Trek stuff and, like, you know, start going through, you know, dimensions or whatever. But the newer alien species that came about in this movie, the good aliens, pretty much told the humans about all sorts of, you know, wondrous things that they can do together and stuff. So obviously we have a bonding towards the end of the film, to where the humans had a bond with the good aliens, and now they're gonna try to, you know, pretty much hold their own in this intergalactic battle, because that's essentially what this was. This was an intergalactic battle with these evil aliens going about targeting multiple planets with civilizations, and just destroying all life all throughout the universe, because in their quest to improve and, you know, gain fuel and just perfect their technology and stuff, in which case we did see how much their technology has improved. But some of the negative aspects, I would have to say, was some of the thermal dynamics and the way some of the airplanes were featured and stuff. It just didn't seem realistic in a way. But then again, if you reverse engineer, you know, extraterrestrial technology, obviously you're gonna achieve wonders. But this film just seemed too far out, in an essence. We get to see where there was a sequence where the two main characters were pretty much in the main ship, to where all the aliens were inhabiting and just, you know, piloting and operating in, and pretty much inside their own ship they had their own ecosystem, which was pretty weird, because there was a sequence to where we saw our main heroes, you know, muffling around in unknown water, essentially. And to me, that just didn't seem right, because there was a scene where the aliens were hunting all of the fighters and whatnot, after they have landed in the ship. And we see, you know, a couple of our guys in the water, and they had their eyes open. I mean, first things first, this is not human water, this is not Earth water. So for someone to open up their eyes and just, you know, maneuver around alien water just seems a little weird to me, because you would expect alien-like water to be different, perhaps maybe thicker, thinner, more toxic, and these guys were just like diving on in there as if it was no tomorrow. So but there were certain things that made the aliens look very, very weak, in my opinion. They certainly looked great in terms of, you know, their appearance and how they looked and whatnot, but again, I just feel as if they made the aliens look very weak, especially the queen, because although she was very smart and she was luring everyone in and she was doing all sorts of stuff to pretty much bait the humans in an essence, they still made her seem very weak towards the end. Although she was gigantic in stature, I mean, this alien queen seemed like, you know, as if she was as big as like the Cloverfield monster from the movie Cloverfield. There were certain things about it that didn't really stick to me, and I really hope that when the third movie comes out, in which case there will be a third movie, they definitely improve on some of the flaws. I mean, the way the ship, the main mothership, I guess you could say, left the planet towards the very end, didn't, you know, make that much sense. I mean, obviously you're gonna have to have tons and tons and tons of nuclear, you know, missiles to blow that thing up into pieces, but it was so gigantic in stature that it was about 3,000 miles in diameter, so you're gonna have to need a lot of bombs to destroy that thing. And of course, it latched onto the Earth, and it was like a spider. It just latched on, and, you know, they had their own agenda, obviously. But in my opinion, I think that this movie could have been that much better. Will Smith was not featured in the film, which kind of disappointed me, because I really wanted to see Will Smith be a part of this movie, but of course he was not a part of this film, which kind of upset me, because I felt as if he kind of made the first movie that much more interesting. And in which case, I do firmly believe, in my opinion, that the first movie was just that much better. But leave your thoughts down below, guys, if you guys agreed with this movie being good. If you guys hated this film, comment down below, let me know why. I would have to say, in terms of it being a sci-fi movie, it certainly was entertaining, and it offered a lot of, you know, interesting, you know, concepts to reality, as if, like, hey, imagine if this actually happened to you. What would you guys do if an alien outbreak or an alien invasion happened? So I just felt as if, you know, there were certain things about the movie that it just left me questioning, like, really? Like, well, like, was that the best you can really do? And I think that the movie could have been far better than how it was depicted. And of course, through my perspective, I felt as if the movie was rushed. And I still stand behind that, because there is just no way that they, you know, included everything that they needed to include in this movie with such a short time frame. I mean, the movie was a little under 2 hours, So I would have to say that this movie just felt rushed to me. But let me know your overall thoughts down in the comment section below, guys. Did you guys like the movie? Did you guys hate the movie? What are your overall thoughts on the Queen? And what do you guys expect to see in the third installment of this franchise? Comment down below and let me know. Once again, guys, thank you all for watching. If you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content like this. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to punch that like button right in the face. Leave your thoughts down below. Thank you all for watching once again, and I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Take it easy, guys. God bless. Peace.